Everybody, this is Dr. Nick with Leverage Media, and welcome to another special episode of Path to a Million podcast. Been trying to just dig into this Senate bill, which will assume eventually be the bill that gets signed. They're supposed to be voting tomorrow, I think, on the House. The House is supposed to be voting tomorrow, but they're going to be voting on the same bill. One of the questions that I wasn't sure about that somebody had asked me is, if you have already laid someone off, how does this affect that? So in this bill, there's three ways for people to remain or continue to get paid. One is, if you keep them on your payroll, you can borrow the money to pay them, and then that money is relieved. That's what's going to be the case with most. Number two is that everybody that makes under $75,000 a year is going to get a $1,200 check directly deposited to them into their bank account, or if they don't have a bank account that the government knows about, then I think the check will get mailed. The third part, though, is unemployment insurance. It's basically been boosted so that it'll pay 100% of 95 to 99% of the employees that work in chiropractic offices. It'll pay 100% of their wages for 4 months on that unemployment insurance. So some people had already, like if they had to close, or if they, are severely limited in terms of the number of visits that they have, they had already started to lay people off, especially if it was something like exercise, or they have a gym in the practice where they have a trainer. So I was not sure how this bill would affect those people, like if you were able to bring them back onto the payroll and be able to pay them with the loan money that's going to be forgiven. But from what I've just read, I'm 95% sure that because the bill is retroactive to February 15th, that if you laid somebody off between February 15th and now, that you'd be able to bring them back onto the payroll and use those loan funds that'll be forgiven to pay them. And you can decide, if you want to do that or not. But if you were hoping that you wouldn't have to lay people off, and you want to keep the team together, and you want to work on things, if you do have to shut down, or if you're slower, this is going to be a great time to be able to work on things you just never have time to do. So I think that this will allow you to bring your team back together and have the government pay for that cost for at least the next 8 weeks. This bill only covers the next 8 weeks. If this continues and people are still having to shut down, or really low, I still think that it's going to be expanded beyond that. But I think that's that's really good news for a lot of offices, because the ones that I've been talking to that did have to lay people off really didn't want to have to do that. They want to keep their team together. This is going to allow you to do that because the bill will be retroactive to February 15th. So just wanted to shoot that, let you guys know that, and talk to you soon.